Hey everybody, welcome to the first of the 9, right? 9 ways that God uses obscurity to prepare us for our purpose. And I just want to remind you, it's a process. The process of promotion. It's not overnight. It's not instant. It's not going to happen, you know what I mean, like you like. God's going to take you on a journey. He's going to get you prepared so you can step into what he has for you. So I want to get into the first one, and this is the repetition of obscurity. This is the first thing that God does. This is the first way that God uses the hidden seasons to prepare you, and it's all about repetition. So if you remember in the story of David, where he's heads to the battlefield, he sees Goliath, he's like, I'm taking this guy out. He goes to the king, or they bring him to the king, King Saul, and he's trying to tell King Saul, like, hey, I'm going to take this guy out. And Saul replies in 1 Samuel 17, verse 33, you're not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. Talk about a big pick-me-up encourager. He says, you're not able to go out and fight him. You are only a boy, and he has been a fighting man from his youth. So he's like, man, he is out of your league. This giant is too next level for you to take out. Verse 34. But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, right? He didn't just go, all right, well, it's one less sheep. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I don't want to mess with the lion. No, he said, I went after it. I struck it, and I rescued the sheep from its mouth. When the sheep when it turned on me, I seized it by the hair and I struck it and killed it. Dude, this guy is like Rambo level, right? This lion comes after him. He grabs a lion and takes this lion out. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them because he has defied the armies of the living God, right? So he says then in verse 37, the Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will also deliver me from the hand of the Philistine. I love this little section here because we're getting a window into the value of this hidden season with the sheep that David was in. See, because David was in this hidden season where he's guarding what seemed like nothing of great value, especially after he would have been anointed by the prophet to be the next king of Israel. I mean, this was a big thing. And here he goes back to the sheep, back to working the flocks and protecting them. So he would have had time. Well, I believe that there was a supernatural intervention with David and the giant. I also believe his accuracy and his ability to take out the giant was because of that season of being unknown and overlooked and with the sheep where he had to protect the little things. He had to fight against the enemy who was trying to mess with, even if it seemed little at the time, he defended the sheep, he rescued it, and so he's like, man, I did it this time, and I rescued the sheep from the lion, I rescued the sheep from the bear, and now I'm going to take this thing out. So repetition, this hidden, overlooked season, allows God to shape repetition in your life. Maybe you've heard of some of the work that Malcolm Gladwell has done in kind of highlighting and articulating this concept of mastery being shaped around a 10,000 hour rule. So, you know, there are certainly some things that maybe I could never become that amazing at, but anything that I put 10,000 plus hours at, I am going to have a level of skill and mastery at. But many who are great are not necessarily great because they're wildly different than you, crazy other gifted than you. It's because they dedicated themselves to going over and over and over and over again on the basics, on the fundamentals, on the essentials, right? But this can be one of the frustrating things. One of the most frustrating things about the seasons of obscurity and the process is that we feel stuck. It feels like, man, Groundhog's Day, where it's like different day, same thing. Different day, same thing. You're just like, it's like Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san, right? It's wax on, wax off. Paint the fence, right? It's just the same things over and over. And Daniel-san, or whichever version of Karate Kid you've seen, the student feels like his time is being wasted because he doesn't understand, why do you keep having me do these same things over and over? It doesn't seem like it makes sense. And then as the story progresses, you find out, wow, okay, those simple movements of training that Mr. Miyagi was training his student in actually were the building blocks for being great at the martial arts that he was training for. And you'll find the same thing in your life. David found that. Little did he know that learning to defend the sheep was the skill he needed to rescue God's people from the hand of the Philistine Goliath that day, and literally was the thing that catapulted him into the next season of the calling and leadership and influence that he had. That giant was a gateway to a next season of promotion. But had he not been prepared, right? Had he not gone through the motions, who knows if he had been ready for that moment. And I guarantee you right now, things you're doing that don't make sense to you, things you're doing that are frustrating to you, things that feel like a waste of your time, I guarantee you this, God is using those things, those fundamentals, those shaping out of the basics in your life to prepare you to be ready for the main stage of your calling, the main stage of your purpose. The key is that you don't get discouraged. The key is that you don't quit. The key is that you don't think, oh man, this is stupid. Man, well, just give me my opportunity. I'm done with the practice. I'm done with going through the motions. Just give me the game, give me the project, give me the platform, give me the influence. And when you try to prematurely step onto a stage that you're not ready for and you haven't had the repetition for, you actually end up looking foolish, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. But part of, and one of the big things that God does in seasons of obscurity is actually create the space for repetition, to keep going, to keep learning, to keep practicing. Because one of the things about repetition or preparation is that we actually, we perform to our highest level of training, right? We respond to our highest level of training. So people don't become great because they do great things. They're able to step into greatness because they've mastered the essentials, okay? So mastery of the essentials is absolutely critical. And I was talking to a few friends in the martial arts, and one of the things that when it comes to like self-defense, right, or things of that nature, I think we oftentimes think, I know for me, like I've seen, all the movies, right? All of the, rescue movies and the Taken movies, and, Liam Neeson's daughter gets abducted and he's like, I have a very special set of skills, right? I'm going to come and I'm going to destroy you, right? I like the idea that if someone did that, I would have a special set of skills, but the truth is, I have not trained and prepared like the guy in that film. So I would try to go and take down the cartel and probably get taken out in 5 seconds, right? So, I give it my best effort. I give it everything I had, but I would fall to the level of my training. I wouldn't rise to the occasion. A lot of times people think you're going to accelerate beyond your training, beyond your preparation when the pressure's on. And statistically, scientifically, historically, that actually doesn't happen. We do not rise to a level beyond our preparation. When you're faced with pressure, when you're in an attack moment, let's say someone's going to try to attack you and you're like, I need to defend myself. I need to retaliate. I got to protect my family. You won't all of a sudden materialize a bunch of ninja skills that you did not have before that moment. You're not going to magically be a legend all of a sudden. You will actually be the opposite. You will literally respond at the level of your training. So if you've had no protecting self-defense training, guess what? You will literally have about zero skill in that moment. You'll flail a little bit. Maybe, you'll do a little bit of damage, but you won't be effective, right? You literally, we rise to the level of our training, and that's it. So this is one of the big reasons why. So don't get discouraged. Don't lose heart in seasons of preparation, because this repetition is absolutely key. God is not wasting your time. Okay? God is not just putting you in a season of repetition because he's mad at you or because he's rude. He has you there for a reason. So that's why sometimes we got to be careful that we don't miss the moment of what God's trying to do and eject from the process, because that repetition, David needed to have killed the lion and killed the bear so he could kill the giant. That thing you're doing right now that seems mundane, I'm telling you, you need to conquer that. You need to fight that battle. You need to win that victory, because when you do that, then you're going to be ready to actually take out the bigger purpose. You're going to be ready to step onto the larger platform. You're going to be able to step into that greater level of influence. I constantly thank God that that God did not give me what I have today 20 years ago, okay? If God had given me what I have today 20 years ago, it would have destroyed me. It would have messed me up. So God is good. He's patient. He loves you more than he loves the gift and the things that you do for him. So you got to be faithful in the process. Allow God to shape you and develop you. Allow him to carve out that area of your life. David was an amazing protector and guardian and leader of God's people. And God knew he would be, because he saw how he handled the sheep. Could God trust David with the sheep? Could he trust him in the little things? This is an important part of that process. Can God trust you in the small things? Are you going to be faithful with the little? Are you going to stick to it? I think in my life there's been different seasons where I didn't see the value of what I was doing in the moment until later on, But if you fail to prepare yourself, here's the deal. You will either never rise out of obscurity, or you will fail when your opportunity comes. Man, that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. You're like, man, I don't want to fail in my moment. I don't want to faint in the day of adversity, like the Bible says. I want to be ready to meet the moment that God has for me. I want to be ready to grab a hold of that. But if I fail to prepare, if I don't do the work, if I don't go through the process, then I will fail when my opportunity comes, and it'll be disastrous. And I might be like, man, I want my opportunity, I want my moment. Maybe you've done that. Maybe you fought for a moment before you were actually ready for it. You got up on that sort of main stage of whatever the call or purpose or dream was, and you failed. You just crashed and burned, and it felt embarrassing. It felt all that because you weren't ready to step into it, right? So this is where you maybe have heard it said before, maybe have heard different phrases. This is where what is your daily routine really matters, right? A lot of times you can figure out, okay, if somebody's great, if somebody's making a great impact, I don't just mean as somebody famous, although sometimes greatness and fame can go together, but I mean somebody who's making a great impact. They're doing what God designed them to do. If somebody's making a great impact with their life, then I want to go, well, what are they doing? How are they doing that? What is their secret, right, to their success? And most people, you can discover that in their daily routine. What are the things they do every day? What's the way they start their day? How do they finish their day? What do they prioritize in a week, right? And there's a lot of people much more qualified than I when it comes to time management, goal setting, all those types of things. But if I want to change my future, if I want to be prepared for all the purposes that God has for me, I understand that it comes in my daily routines, my habits, what am I doing each day? What have I locked into in my week, right? So what are you doing with what you have? I think sometimes not only what God has given you is today. Today's a day that the Lord has made. He gave you today. So what are you doing in your daily routine? And then what are you doing with what you have right now? Don't despise a day of small beginnings, like the Bible says. What are you doing right now to be faithful to prepare? So for me, I knew as a preacher and as a writer, well, what do I want to do? I want to keep getting better at those things. So I'm going to get in a space of repetition. So years back when I was first developing as a writer, I actually committed to say every day, let me just clue in on this. I created like 5 buckets, I call it, 5 key topics that I felt like I had something I could say in. Not that I was an expert, but just something I could bring some value to. And I created like a document on my phone, each of those, and I began to put in ideas, starters, Bible verses, concepts, things that I felt I discovered, things I saw that other people did, all that kind of stuff. And I began to use that as my idea generation. And then once a week, I would write a tweet length quote, thought, concept that I posted on my different social platforms. And this was maybe 10, 12 years ago I started doing this. And when I did that, I said, okay, I'm going to do every single day. I started with Monday through Friday, every morning, I'm going to have one thought from one of those 5 buckets, right? So I'm going to hit these things. And I just committed myself to it. And I committed myself to it. And then it went from once every 5 days to once every single day of the week. Then it got to a place where I was posting twice a day, every single day, because that engine had started generating it and had started shaping the concepts. And here's the power of repetition. As I committed to that, and now I don't post an exact regimen and routine every day. I'm more sharing thoughts as they're coming, but I'm constantly sharing and communicating. But in those first 3 years where I was really carving this out, it was really interesting to see that about once a year, I'd get a fresh wave of people saying, wow, Samuel, your content has really gone to the next level. Wow, that's really valuable. Wow, right? About once a year. Well, what was happening there? I didn't really start saying new things. I didn't necessarily, feel like I had really leveled up. Like I didn't feel that necessarily. But what happened was I was experiencing this power of repetition. And it wasn't like I was getting a ton of responses per se at first. I didn't have some big platform to say all that stuff. I used what I had. So I had a phone, I had some social accounts. I'm just going to encourage the people God's given me. I'm going to share what I want to share, right? I'm going to put God's word in people, put courage in people. And I just began to share these things little by little by little. And like I said, about once a year, it would come around a fresh wave of people going, man, I love this content. Well, that was because of repetition, daily habits, daily routines, getting after the little things, not getting into a space where I'm like, well, I'll be a writer someday when somebody asks me to write a book, right? I'll develop my preaching skill once somebody asks me to preach. Now, you don't do it like that, right? Many have quoted this in different phrases, but it's basically, prepare and then your day will come, right? A lot of people want their day to come and then prepare, but it doesn't work like that. You prepare and then your day will come. So repetition. Don't get discouraged by it. You feel like you're going around the same hill, the same mountain, the same activities, the same routine. You've been asked to do the same job forever and ever. It's like you're in this season of repetition. I'm telling you, don't get discouraged by it. Don't freak out by it. God is shaping you. God is developing something new. And every single season where He has you developing, there were some more hidden seasons in my previous ministry opportunities where actually I was in charge of internships and Bible colleges and creating courses and writing curriculum. And I just thought, man, this isn't what I want to do. I'm not a curriculum developer. That's not my thing. And it developed and shaped. And now, fast forward, I feel this burden to create courses and resources and to develop and help encourage individuals and churches in what God has for them. And it's like, wow, now I see the hand of God. God was preparing me. I took out the lion. I took out the bear. Now I can take out Goliath. So whatever you're in right now, don't get discouraged, okay? Keep working at it. Keep developing. Keep sharpening. Keep going after what God has for you. And I want to encourage you with two basic things here. One is is there's two truths that seem like maybe they're opposing, but they work together. What got you here will not take you there, and you can't get there if you stop what got you here. Okay? So on one hand, what I'm saying is you might have to try some new things. You might have to develop some new skills to get to where God has you, right? You might need to sharpen. You might need to level up to kind of put together what God needs you to have for that next season. So sometimes we can get stagnant and we stay in the same place and we don't progress because we need to create what one of my mentors, Eddie Windsor, says, next level habits that are beyond where you are right now that actually pull you into the next season. So I need to develop habits for that next season. And so I don't want to just get stuck where I'm at. What got me here may not take me there. I need to think, what's next? What do I have to keep developing and sharpening? But on the same hand, if I stop doing what got me here, I may never get to that next place. And here's what I mean, is that the fundamentals are the fundamentals for a reason, and they never change. Sometimes we get all excited about going to another level. I'm going to level up. I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to that next thing. And we abandon what got us here, right? The work ethic you had, the creativity you had, the passion you had, the drive you had, the commitment you had, all those elements that get you to that next level, all of a sudden maybe you throw those away as if it doesn't really matter. I'm telling you what, you will actually self-sabotage if you stop the fundamentals. This is why in sports, this is why in every situation, it's fundamentals, it's fundamentals, it's fundamentals. You got to keep doing the basics. You got to keep doing the basics. Then you'll add things that take you to another level. But no matter what level you're at, you keep being a servant. No matter what level you're at, you got to keep walking in with integrity. No matter what level you're at, work ethic matters. No matter what level you get to, creativity, problem solving, all of that matters. Excellence matters at every level. You don't just keep everything excellent and operate with high levels of alignment and integrity just in the beginning seasons. No, every season needs that. Every season of your life is going to require excellence out of you. So the fundamentals that got you promoted are the same things that are going to keep strengthening, keep promoting. But then there may be new things that God has you bring into the mix that actually take you and accelerate your life. So he'll add skill on skill on skill on skill. And don't get discouraged of the repetition. Don't get discouraged in what might feel like almost the monotony of it. Understand that God has created a hidden, obscure delay in your life to actually get you ready, to get you prepared for your moment. Come on, that's the first one of 9 in this process of promotion is actually this season of repetition that God uses.